Hello Pisces, and welcome to Mind, Body and Heart Tarot Therapy. I'm here to do the moon reading for the month of August for Pisces, Sun, Moon and Rising signs. It is for new moon in Leo as I'm doing this reading, and I think I'm feeling the energy. It may be related to your theme, and yeah, let's see what you're going through. So it's a general reading for Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. If it resonates, it resonates. If it doesn't, then it just doesn't. It is not your reading. This is your current energy. Nine of Swords. So the way you can look at these readings, it's more of a... It's like just showing you what the energy is. It does not tell you what to do. It does not tell you what to feel or how to think or things like this. It's more of a like, if you resonate, it's understanding what you're going through. And if it fits, it fits. You don't try to make it fit. Don't try to stretch it. Don't try to give it other meaning than necessary. Use your own intuition and wisdom to see what messages apply and let go of the rest. Right, let's see, Pisces, what is in your challenge position? Queen of Swords, all right. And what is the advice from Tarot? What is the advice for Pisces for the month of August? Eight of Wands, all right. And this is your future energy. And bottom of the deck is your theme and underlying theme. Underlying energy is the King of Wands. Which is very much Leo energy, by the way. I'm clarifying the cards before we even go into the conversation because I feel it gives a much more complete perspective and rounder view. Let's clarify, where's the Queen of Swords here as your challenge position? Where is the Queen of Swords here as your challenge position? Okay, this one did out. Alright. So you have the Page of Cups with the Nine of Swords as your current energy, and the Queen of Swords with the Nine of Pentacles as your challenge. What is difficult for you at this time? And as your advice, let's see, why is the Eight of Wands your advice? Ten of Swords. Okay. Why is Judgment as your future energy? Why is the Judgment here as your future energy? Why is the Judgment here? The Hanged Man with the Fool. Wow. Holy shit, Pisces. Like, you have three major arcana cards coming in your near future. Most likely towards the second half of August. And bottom of the deck, you have the Two of Cups to go along with the King of Wands. And here's another Lion here. It's very much related to, okay, you may have also, like, obviously this reading is not going to resonate with everybody. So I'm just going to go to what I see right now. There's this whole new moon in Leo for you, it's somehow very significant. It may be also that you have significant parts of your chart in Leo. It may be the reading for people that have both Pisces and Leo. It can also mean important Leo people in your life. This is like Leo energy being present around you or within you. As your underlying theme right now, to be honest, I think it has to do with you embodying this King of Wands energy and coming with the Two of Cups, having, I think it's really reconciling different aspects of yourself here. Of course, it can be taken as relationships, it can be taken, it can be read in many ways, but I'm just reading it as it comes right now, as I'm feeling through. I think you're reconciling different aspects of yourself, and you may be having troubles right now to accommodate this like super fiery energy within you. You know, Pisces, you Pisces are a gentle person. You are very, um, you feel through a lot. You're very empathetic. You're very empathic, actually. It is very difficult at times to know exactly what you want and to be in this whole place of decisiveness and confidence, because like your feelings can get the best of you sometimes, and it's not just your feelings, because you're easily influenced by other people's emotions because you feel through them, you perceive them, you know. And spending time around people a lot, it can confuse you, and you're taking in baggage that isn't yours. And I think this is where you're trying to get right now. You're trying to you're being aware that you have this part of you, that it's inherent in within you. It's your power. You know, you know you can be in this position of decisiveness and confidence, and being your own person, having healthy boundaries, taking risks. This is pretty much like the personality of the King of Wands. And you want to integrate that. You want to be able to align it with the very sensitive part of you. You see here, there are two people coming together. They have the cups full here. They're under this like Leo guardian angel sort of figure looking. I forgot what's the name of these two serpents. Cloud. I forgot. Anyway, it's symbolizing healing. It's symbolizing things coming together. And here you have two different aspects of yourself coming together and making peace, really, instead of like criticizing each other, instead of like having this constant inner conflict. I don't know, a lot of readings recently pointed out this whole inner conflict, different aspects of the self. It's not just you, Pisces. I think it started from Sagittarius down. Sagittarius, Capricorn had something like that as well. I don't remember what. Aquarius maybe was on a different direction. I don't know, but I feel it's pretty strongly that you're trying to really accommodate to pretty strong aspects of yourself here, and have them work together, align, integrate each other, make friends with yourself, make friends with the parts of yourself that you don't really know how to work with. Maybe you have this person within you which is like very you don't really know how to access it, you don't really know how to go about it, because it's strong, it goes into a tantrum, it can be like moody, it can be, the King of Wands can be a little bit not necessarily irresponsible. He can take risks, but you know, he can go, because he's such a confident person, and because he knows that he can pretty much do whatever he wants, because he can take the consequences, he can be very bold. And maybe there's the more insecure part of you and more sensitive part of you, which is not particularly doesn't find it particularly easy to go along with this part of you. Okay, I hope it makes sense. It's really just like, many of us don't understand this, that we are not like, our identity, the way our personality is not something fixed. It's actually very, very changeable and changing all the time. All we need is to really pay attention to ourselves and how we react and how we act with different people and in different situations, and you will see different personalities and different archetypes rise up within you. different aspects of your the way you come into the world. And this has to do a lot with the ego as well, the King of Wands. So maybe you're literally learning how to work with your ego. Nine of Swords with the Page of Cups here. The Page of Cups represents the subconscious. This is like there's all the water here, and he's got this cup here, and there's the fish coming through the cup. It's like a surprise that comes from the subconscious, from the part of your mind which is trying to communicate with you, but you don't really have access to. And I think that you're trying to kind of, I mean, like, it's not that you're actively trying to suppress it. It's more like your mind is used to suppress it because it just doesn't know how to work with whatever comes from the subconscious. It's used to, like, okay, go away, shoo, this is scary. It's emotions, oh my god, too much emotions. And maybe you don't feel strong enough at this point to ride these emotional waves that are coming. And I would say don't be afraid. I know that it's very, if you feel very worried and you feel very anxious right now about whatever it is that you get from your subconscious mind right now, which can come out in different ways, you know, having to do with your ego, having to do with insecurities, having to do with two different aspects of yourself which you don't really know how to handle, and knowing how to meet your needs, you know, and your emotions, which you're like, again, very, very, you can get very entangled in. They're supposed to be messages. They're supposed to help you interpret your environment. It's not really about, they're not the truth. They are a chemical reaction, really. They are like understanding the emotions by feeling through without necessarily giving them too much meaning and say like, oh, I feel like this is my truth. In a way, there is a truth in what you feel, but it's not always what you would think. If I feel persecuted, it doesn't necessarily I am persecuted. I don't know why that example came in. It just came in. It doesn't matter. Maybe somebody needs to hear this. It may be that there's a dynamic there that doesn't really work. It doesn't necessarily mean that the other person is the bad person. It doesn't mean that I'm bad. It doesn't mean any of this. Sometimes our emotions are just signaling us that there's something there that we need to look at. We need to give it attention, right? And having the Queen of Swords with the Nine of Pentacles here as your challenge position, what is difficult for you, it's something that you are aware of. This had been a problem for you for most of your life, Pisces. Putting boundaries, knowing when to put boundaries, and also doing so not necessarily in the harshest way. I feel because you've been always, you know, Pisces is very flowing. It's ruled by Neptune. It's all about mysticism. It's all about Pisces wants to flow. Pisces energy wants to merge, and that makes Pisces very sensitive to other people's energies, but also gives this feeling of like, I can't really be by myself because I need to always be with other people because I'm so used to feeling their emotions, and when I don't, I feel empty. This is a recurrent theme in Pisces life in general, and it might be for you as well. And the Queen of Swords especially is all about boundaries. It's all about understanding that she needs her own space, and this is like the singles card. This is the card of somebody who's like really really enjoying herself, being independent, and being in the like enjoying the richness of her own garden, with based on her own work. These are both very very strong feminine powerful cards of independence. The Queen of Swords is very independent, maybe a little bit too much, both of them. This becomes a little bit of comfort zone, even. The trouble with the Queen of Swords is also that the way she puts boundaries can be really, really harsh. And when we are not, I mean, like Pisces, nobody is great at putting boundaries. This is a skill that takes a lifetime to really learn, especially in the international environments that we are mostly living, and having like people coming from different schools of life and having very different experiences and very different triggers. It's very, very difficult to put boundaries before the triggers come out, before having an anger fit, or completely shutting down and things like this. So the way the Queen of Swords puts boundaries can sometimes come out as really really harsh and aggressive, and this may very well be part of your challenge right now, how to put those boundaries, how to be in this power of your, feeling safe being by yourself, feeling cared for, feeling strong within your own space, and being able to communicate boundaries and understand other people's boundaries, but do it like to learn to do this in a rather more gentle way, And I think like you're getting messages about this from your subconscious, and which having to do what are your needs. What are your needs? Like your real needs, not what you perceive as needs. We sometimes think like what we want is what we need, but that's actually most of the time quite wrong. Let's say that I just want to watch movies all day and eat popcorn. Is that really healthy? Is that really what I need? Probably not. Probably what I would need would be to stay a little bit with my emotions and understand why is it that I want to escape this much when there's a full life out there. And now it's just a way to look at it. And then as your advice, you have the Eight of Wands, which is very much about communication, which is a lot about messages about that are being delivered from you and to you. And it comes with the Ten of Swords. It's something like you may have felt backstabbed, you may have felt betrayed, you may have felt like you've been left out into the cold, abandoned completely by people that you cared about. And it may have been so, or maybe also just a sort of form of perception. This is still the mind. This is what the mind is telling you. 9 and 10 of swords. But being this 9 and 10 of swords is actually also an end of a cycle, right? So you're starting to see what is it that like your subconscious is telling you, and it's been keeping you up at night, having to do with your boundaries and independence and things like this. Many of you may be very much aware of this problem and had felt maybe shame around it, or had felt some sort of like neediness, which in today's society, to be needy is like taboo, and it's something that we would want to shut down. Whenever we feel our needs and whenever we don't know how to meet our needs, our mind will just come and start like running in circles. So most of the time, the person that betrays us is us. The person that abandons us is us. Because it's like, I don't know how to deal with this. I don't know how to feel. I don't know what to make of these emotions. Here I am, I'm going to put all these emotions on somebody else's lap, and I'm going to make it their problem. And if they don't know how to deal with that, then I will feel betrayed. If they don't want to work with it or help me or things like this, then I will feel betrayed. And this is why the need for boundaries, and this is why the need for a little bit of independence and space and ownership. ownership of your own emotions, and also healthy communication. And it's fine, like whenever if you do feel like you were betrayed at some point, it's fine to talk about this. It's fine to deliver the messages, but do it from your place of ownership. I feel like this because this is what my expectations were, or this is what I thought that was happening. And the other person may use the information wherever they want. They can defend themselves, they can admit to it, they can feel pushed away, things like this, you know. But do remember that we are the ones giving our power away. And there's nothing to blame to. I mean, like, we are raised like this. We are raised to be dependent on other people, and we're not really told very well or educated how to start gaining our own power and not give it away. Nobody fucking teaches us how to deal with emotions, really. It's all about like sharpening the mind. It's all about like the more sociopath you are nowadays, the better it is for company, because they can work on those traits. The more you don't have a life and the more you want to escape through work, the better it's for them, and so on and so on and so on, you know. And yeah, it's great to be intelligent and to use your mind to problem solve or whatever, but we're society a bit obsessed with the mind at this point, and this is where it's always going to take us. That's the path of the mind in the suit, and it's part also of the growth of the mind. In the suit of the swords, the lower cards are like, it's all about the ace of wands, which is coming right after this, so it's a good, it's coming next for you. It's all about insight, it's all about new understanding, new idea, new, like, really really deep insights. And the Ten of Swords is like when you took that insight and you learned everything that you needed to learn about this, and your mind had all the chances to bring all the resistances, to go through this cycle that always happens whenever we learn something new about ourselves. And it all goes back to self-acceptance. It all goes back to the moment I accept these things, that's why it actually ends up dead here. And the moment I accept what's been waking me up at night and coming from my subconscious, and I haven't been like staying with, or maybe denying, or I've been running away from, the moment I accept it, the resistance is gone, and it starts being integrated. And then you have the future energy, you have the Judgment with the Hangman and the Fool. And Judgment has to do with forgiveness. This is coming soon for you after this whole process. This is where this process is taking you. By the way, this comes as an advice, so I think that you are encouraged to allow yourself, first of all, to see what this is all about, if there was any betrayal that you felt or whatever. And also the Eight of Wands has to do with communication and rapid movement and intention setting and things like this. But I think you're being encouraged to allow this to happen, like really go with it. Allow this skin to be shed. Learn from this cycle. Remember what this cycle was all about, when you start first feeling or thinking about the situation in a certain way, which first came as an insight, and how this had been developed to become the end of it. And now you're going at the new cycle, and there you go, new cycle, the Fool. And Judgment 20 is a big new cycle, and it comes with the Hangman, so I think it's going to be quite a long cycle actually, where you're going to learn something new. You're going to learn a lot about this integration. You're going to learn how to align a little bit these two aspects of yourself, how to put these boundaries. This, what had been challenging for you right now, I think is going to come with the lessons learned are going to be applied in the next cycle, and you're going to go a little bit deeper with either, like, this seems to be like you've learned it, that's it, the mind had gone through this process, it understood, now it's gonna go for the next phase, whatever that means for you. It may be having very much to do with how you've been showing up in relationship. It may be having a lot to do with the neediness that you've been always annoyed at and yet very conditioned by, and learning about those needs, learning forgiveness. Judgment is a lot about forgiveness, you know. You is looking at yourself bare, like naked, no more show, no more personas coming up, no more you know, like when the show is finished, when it's just really assessing and looking and letting go. Judgment is it's a lot about letting go, and we can let go through acceptance and forgiveness. Judgment is about looking at things without judging, actually. It's about accepting things for exactly how they were and simply have an assessment of where you're at, learning where you're at, learning what you need to work with in this new cycle that's coming through. And what is it that you know, the Hanged Man is about, sorry, the Hanged Man is about somebody who's like changing a perspective. And I think a change of perspective is definitely coming through after all this, and after this, especially after allowing this skin to be completely shed off and letting go of this cycle. This the Hanged Man is like the person who's hanging here upside down, and is getting enlightenment from this, from a change of perspective, from just being there, constrained by his own will, you know. He's in waiting period. So I think you're going to change your perspective. I think your next cycle is going to be a very deep one, and you're going to learn a lot about acceptance, forgiveness, and faith. Faith in the process, faith in yourself, faith that you are where you need to be, and you're learning your lessons at your own rhythm, at your own pace, and it's all okay as it is. The Fool goes through life having complete faith in the universe, and he can't be not safe, because no matter what the universe has put in front of him in terms of his path, he knows that he's supposed to be there. It's supposed to be there. It's an experience that he needs to go through. So there he feels safe. If he falls here and he dies, he's going to wake up in the next life and he will understand something new. It's very, very strong energy coming through for you towards the end of August. Maybe even later, maybe even earlier, I don't know. But it might be relevant for you at the time that you actually watch this reading. I think it's good. It's really, really good, because you're learning so much. You're learning so much. And this is a healing journey. Judgment has to do a lot with healing as well. These people, they're raising from their tomb. See? Goodness. So this person's dead here, and this is 10. And then this person's raising from the tomb, and gets like absolution, gets salvation of some point. So salvation is not given by somebody else, it's given by yourself. At the end of the day, you are the one who needs to live with yourself every moment of the day and night and whatever. So I think it has to do with forgiving yourself, forgiving others, forgive whatever you perceived here about yourself or others, and go in, baby. You've got this. You've got this. All right, Pisces. I hope that makes sense to you. It's quite a long reading. If you resonated with this reading, please like, share, and subscribe. I'm really, really happy to do these readings for you. I hope that my channel will grow in order to reach more and more people that are in need of these messages. Thank you so much, and really enjoy this coming month. Sending so much love.